Sorry, I'm behind you. Let me just get down here. All right. Well, folks, welcome to Bird of the Day. And if you've been following the last few weeks, you know that we are going through Susie Silky's color wheel of birds. And there's only a couple left here, and I showed the two that were left to Lilith. And they decided to go a little bit yellow. We're doing the yellow bird today. The yellow bird is, well, it's a very yellow bird. Maybe not the most yellow bird, but it's a pretty yellow bird. This yellow bird is the Hawai'i Amakihi. Look at that little yellow bird.
Cute.
He's so cute. He's cute.
Just a little guy.
Just cute little guys. He's cute little guys. Sitting there on the little leaves there with their curved little beak. And actually wasn't a ton of information about their size. Like, I couldn't find any wingspan information, but they're only about 3.9 inches long. I mean, part of that is, look at that, short little tail. They have very short tails. Because length is measured from tip of beak to end of tail. And so there's some birds like, this bird is 5 feet long. Yeah, but 3 of that is tail. These are just small little fellers. So their tail is only probably about, I mean, if it's 3.9 inches long, that tail's like what, like an inch long tail? Pretty small tail.
Yeah.
These tiny little fellers weigh, little under half an ounce on average. But surprisingly long lifespans for little birds, 5 to 10 years. I wasn't able to find their wingspan data. I imagine their wingspans are probably between 6 to 8 inches, but that's just my best guess based off of the size of the bird. But yeah, they are passerines, and they're in the family Fringillidae. They're finches. They're a type of finch. That's all you need to know. They're a type of finch. And you can actually kind of see that in their body shape, the coloration, and the shape of their wings and stuff. You can see like, oh, I see a little bit of American goldfinch in that guy, especially the colors and the wings. But the beaks, they have very different beaks than most other finches. But genetically, yes, they are a type of finch, but they're kind of a unique finch. Not too many birds in their genus. Cute little finches. And, they're the Hawai'i Amakihi. Why are they called that? Oh, because they only live on Hawaii. That is the only place they are found in the entire world. And as you can see there, they are restricted to just 3 islands. The Big Island, which is the island of Hawaii, on Maui, and Molokai, which is a little island above there. You can see a little black dot on the island kind of between Molokai and Maui up there. That's an island of Lanai. They had been seen there, but they have not been seen there since 1976. So they're pretty sure none of them live on that island anymore. But on those 3 islands, they are plentiful. But if you can see there, you find it interesting. It's like, oh, look, they're not on the coasts, but there's also spots in the middle where they are. Because it's like, well, they prefer to live in areas with heavy vegetation. So up high in the mountains, no thanks. On the beaches with like the shrubs and the sand, no thanks. But the inner island areas that are lush and full of vegetation and forests, they love it there. They love it there. But in terms of their breeding, these little fellers have 2 to 3 eggs per clutch, and they do 2 clutches per year. They've actually got kind of a long breeding season. The breeding season lasts for 9 months. So they could, so like most of the year, you will probably be able to find them. And it's like, one mating couple might have them in August, have their first clutch of the year, and another couple might have their first in October. It just depends on the birds. See, the thing is Hawaii doesn't have a lot of seasonal changes. So like winters versus summers in Hawaii, not a significant difference. So you tend to not see as more concentrated seasons in areas like Hawaii that have more consistent temperatures. Their nests are just like small little cup nests, and the females do the nest building, the incubating, and the chick raising. So they're going to be the ones feeding the babies, sitting on the nest there. But the males don't just, fuck off and do their own thing. No, while the female is incubating, the males will stay by and sing their song. And like, birds don't always sing because they're like happy or they're cheerful. Like they have a song for, hey, my nest is here. You're not welcome. Stay the hell away. That's what a lot. If you hear a male songbird singing, and like it's during breeding season, that song is usually "Stay away. This is my territory." That's what that song usually means to the other
That song
birds.
is "Go the fuck away" or
Um,
"Catch these
yeah,
talons."
but like the female will stay in the nest during the incubation, so the male will go out, find food, and bring it to her. You got her own little DoorDash guy or something. He just brings her food, so that's nice. And he does help raise the chicks a little bit, but the females still do most of the baby feeding. One of the interesting thing is that these, kind of not very common for little songbirds, but they are monogamous. And they found that a male will stay with its female partner for pretty much the entire year. And breeding pairs have been known to stay together year after year after year. They don't necessarily mate for life, but they definitely are far more monogamous than most finches and other birds of this size. So I think that's kind of neat.
Yeah, neat little birds.
Yeah, and some, it's like when they're mating, they kind of stick to their pairs, but they will occasionally, flock up. They don't have huge flocks, but you can. It's definitely not uncommon to see, 6 to 12 or 20 of them. They see them. They'll flock up a little bit, especially in areas where there's plentiful food. Like if there's an area where it's like, hey, food is really plentiful here, you'll see a lot of them because it's like, hey, food's plentiful. We're all gonna come get the getting. Well, the getting's good. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
So, yeah. And I'm gonna play a little video of one because it's super cute and everybody wants to see that. Oh, yeah, little feller.
He's very yellow.
Very, very yellow. Maybe not yellow warbler yellow, but more yellow than a golden finch. Here you can see him getting into these flowers. That curved beak, that's what they do. These are nectar eaters. Sticking his little beak into those little flowers. He just knocked a flower off. Did you see that? He just knocked a flower off.
Yeet! This flower empty. Yeet!
Yeah, that curved bill. And actually, if you see a bird, like a small bird with a curved bill like that, that's very typical, means that these are birds that love to eat nectar out of flowers. The curved bit, now I'm not talking like an ibis, a giant ibis or that giant curved bill. That's different. That's different. But if you see a little bird with a curved pointy beak like this, you can bet pretty sure that bird likes to eat nectar out of flowers. But that's not all they eat. They'll eat small berries and stuff, but they are also known to eat spiders and insects. Well, they forage them, like, if they see one crawling on the plant that they're eating, they'll be like, oh, bonus protein. And, well, especially the parents will gather up insects almost exclusively to feed their young with.
Makes sense.
Little babies need a lot of protein, so they definitely have a much higher protein diet as a baby than as an adult.
No, that totally makes sense. I've raised bearded dragons before, and they're actually kind of the same thing. You gotta feed them like a super high protein insect diet, and then as they get older, you switch it to more and more greens up until the point that they're like 80% greens and 20% insect.
Yeah, I guess I never thought about reptiles being like that too, but yeah, makes sense. Makes sense, because a lot of birds are like that, and I could definitely see a lot of bearded dragons are wonderful. I like them. Now, oddly enough, this guy does not have many natural predators. But, of course, because we had to bring Western society over to Hawaii and then release a bunch of them into the wild, their greatest predator is the domestic cat. The domestic cat kills more of these guys than any other animal by far, except, human activity. But, that's more indirect. I mean, direct killing, it's the house cat. I mean, there are a couple other predators, mostly bigger birds would be their other biggest threat, but there's like a variety of bigger birds that, but the thing is, they still do pretty good. They are, in fact, the most common bird that is native to Hawaii. There's more of them than any other bird that is a Hawaii native. And with the estimated about 850,000 individuals. And you saw that little map. Hawaii's not a big state. That means
Yeah.
there's a lot of these fellows around there. I went to Hawaii in January 2020, and I definitely remember seeing a lot of these guys flutting around. I was on Maui, saw lots of them. And because of that, like, big population, yeah, it's weird. Like, they're not on most Hawaiian islands, and, like, they're extinct on Lanai, but on those 3 islands where they remain, especially on the main island of Hawaii, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're thriving. But I mean, other than that, they're a bird that is beloved by the Hawaiian people, but they're not really culturally significant. Like, they're not used in, they're not like revered in any ancient Polynesian rituals or anything. They're not the state bird. They're not even like a county bird or anything. They're just a little bird that people love to see in their yards, see out while they're exploring the wilderness. Just a beloved little bird, but nothing too significant or any special. I mean, they're just little cuties. What else can you say?
Just a little guy going about their business.
So yeah, I love this picture. But yeah, the Hawaiian Amakihi, I've done my tier lists of birds before, and it's just like these guys are just firmly in the great little cuties. Just little cuties. What else can you say? I mean, are they the most exciting bird? No. Are they the prettiest bird? No. Do I love them and would I die for them? Yes.
You know what's funny is in that picture that you chose for this, I think what it's perching on is actually a carnivorous plant. If I'm IDing it correctly, the little droplets that are on the plant are super sticky and they smell really sweet to try to attract bugs. So that bird is literally just sitting there waiting, either having just finished eating a snack of bugs that plant had caught, or it's waiting for bugs to come get trapped.
That'd be smart. And meanwhile, the plant's like, hey, this is my prey. Get your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. When looking at that with those dewdrop things, yeah, I've definitely have seen carnivorous plants that do that. I think you're absolutely right. I love it.
There's a couple of different species that do, to my knowledge. I don't know what specifically that one is. I'm not good enough with plants to be able to ID it like instantly, but it looks similar enough to them that I'm pretty sure that is one.
See, now I'm just gonna Google carnivorous plants of Hawaii. Yeah, article says Hawaii's only carnivorous plant, and the plant pictured is very different than that one.
I mean, just because like it's not native to Hawaii doesn't necessarily mean it isn't one. There are plenty of people who bring in non-native plants.
That's true. Because yeah, you're right. It does absolutely look like it. I've seen one of the things, and then like the bug lands on it, and it like curls up and wraps it up. It's just neat. Plants are fascinating.
Plants are cool.
Yeah. But we've talked about a bird, the Hawaii Amakihi, and love them. Good cuties. Love that beak. Love that yellow. Good bird. Not much else to say. So we're going to call this bird of the day done. And we're going to get back to the studio.